Lesley Paull, so nice to see you. One of my very favorite people in travel. I remember when I met you, your vivacity, your energy, your dynamism as a female leader, entrepreneur in the industry, I think is infectious. I think probably a lot of people see you that way. So I absolutely wanted to make sure that you were a guest on this International Women's Month series. And of course, being in travel, we're very international, aren't we? Uh, Lesley, I want you to talk a little bit about the dream that you had when you started way back when and where you see yourself now. And in the process, did you find being a woman was a help, a hindrance, or are you the type of person that says, I'm just me and my gender makes absolutely no difference in my life and in my business?
Well, it's interesting. First, thanks you for those kind comments. Um, when I started, I was pretty young and pretty naive. And really, the world at that time was, it was sort of a men's club. So what happened was the company I was working for decided to change, an independent decided to change into a larger company based in Toronto. And that wasn't really my style. So as it turned out, I decided, well, I'll just go on my own. How hard can it be? So, I mean, I could do this. And I had a lot of people at that time tell me as a female, there would be no way I would survive. It was just not possible.
Okay, I'm
So,
going to stop you right there. Were these men who were telling you that?
yes,
So you were discouraged from breaking out on your own because you're a
right.
female.
Oh,
And
very much so.
what was it about being a female that was going to be the hindrance? What in it, like I'm trying to understand, what is it about that that was going to
I
not allow you to
really
succeed?
I guess I felt at the time a little lower down on the food chain. So only these people can be successful. Everybody else must kind of female be under them as support people. That's kind of how I felt. Um, so being that I was told this wouldn't happen, of course, I said, well, we'll just see about that. And that gave me more incentive than ever to not fail. But really, I was pretty naive at the time, and I fearless and or naive. And I thought, well, I can do this, and I'm going to because I'm told I can't. I will. So that's kind of how I started.
I think naivete in that kind of circumstance is a very healthy thing. I seem to recall having a similar sense of naivety 25 years ago, starting open shop, no idea what I was getting into. So I think that that's probably healthy because you have a dream, you have an idea in your head that you want to go after,
Yeah.
and the rest will just sort of come together. The path that you've taken, you've seen a lot in the industry, you've seen a lot of changes. Tell me a little bit about what you've learned over the course of your career that could potentially help younger women who are looking to start in the business.
Well, I would say first to start with, if you're considering starting in travel, um, it's not as easy as it looks. So, although I thought this can't be that bad, and there's a lot of things I learned along the way with finances, all the things that I really didn't care about. I just wanted to sell travel and have a good office, nice office. But along the way, you need to build your team. You need to be able to be calm when we have all these crises. So there's always a crisis of some sort, always like somebody's stuck or lost their plane or got drunk or something.
Oh,
But then there's the big ones with
right.
COVID. That was the major, are you going to keep it together or not? And I know a lot of people didn't. So you really had to prepare for that. What are you going to do? Stay positive. We did lots of fun things with the girls, and I mean, it was a struggle for everybody.
Yeah.
But when you make it, you're really proud of it. And we knew we had to make it. We kept all our staff because we knew we were going to need them when this was all over, if it ever ended, a little longer than we anticipated. But, it was a good growing. Uh, I hope it never happens again, but we did manage it. Now we know we can manage anything if we've managed that. And, as time goes along, as we know lately, there's been lots of issues like this. So we stay calm and
Stay calm, carry on. I'm hearing that from a lot of people that because of COVID, that they find themselves navigating the current situation, which is, of course, extremely disruptive. We've had one hit
mhm,
after another, snowstorms, Cuba, Puerto Vallarta. Now there happens to be a war. Talk about upheaval. And
yeah,
people are reflecting what you just said, that we've been through, the school of hard knocks with COVID. And so we have an easier time now dealing with all these unknowns that keep cropping up. But
yeah.
your clients must be, in a lot of fear in some cases, and you've got to manage that. Do you
Mhm.
feel that being a woman, I mean, this sounds, a bit gender specific, but does being a woman help you deal with those clients who are in a lot of fear?
Um, be careful how I answer here, but
Yeah.
I think women are more gentle and understanding with people that are really scared, scared with their kids, scared, just scared for everything. They're usually the ones making a lot of decisions with a family, at least.
Right.
Um, I think women are a little softer in general, so can handle a client that's super upset maybe a little more easily.
But you have a big team. How many people?
16.
16. Okay. So that's not small. And running an organization means sometimes you gotta be tough. You can't always be the nice, nurturing,
Mhm.
good guy.
I
Running a
try.
but running a company can be
Yeah.
challenging at those
Yeah.
times. So, how do you find internally that you find the balance between, being the softer, gentle human and still, having to create some strong boundaries?
Um, well, we have all women. So, and I might add, we all get along really well. But I think we have a lot of boundaries on, what you can and can't do, who you need
Okay.
to ask, how far you can go, what your authorization is yourself, or you have to go to someone. Um, and that really works really well. We have some people, it's one of my beliefs that you don't have selling people doing accounting or anything else. They just sell and they have someone else doing all the other work. And that seems to also keep things a little bit more controlled because, you know, there's sort of a tier. I hate to say that because everybody's important, but your agents are the ones kind of dealing with the main thing. But I guess it's a long way of saying we do have a lot of boundaries. So
So the
you have
structure
a
sort of,
freedom, but only to a certain point.
right, the business structure helps you um, keep everything sort of in check and
Right.
running so that you don't have to be the bad guy, which is never
Yeah,
fun.
that's right.
Not the
Yeah.
fun. Lesley, as we grow, we learn. Life is like that. Sometimes it's tough, sometimes it's fun, but we learn. And if you were to go back in time, talk to your younger self who was starting out on this journey, what advice would you have for her?
I would say at the time I started, as I mentioned before, I thought it was going to be easy. Everybody would deal with me. Why wouldn't they? This is, no problem. But what I didn't realize was all the other things that you need to know, finances, how you're going to get these new clients, and most importantly, the amount I would tell myself how much time I'm going to need to invest to be
I see.
successful. Um, I didn't even think about that at the time. I don't think I even knew. But there, if you're going to build it from ground up, there is a lot of time commitment, a lot. So, that's not something I even thought about or knew. So I just did it. But, if you were on a 9 to 5, that was how you do it. That would be so hard.
Yes.
I'm sure I was working 12, 13 hours a day for years. And I think that's what I would tell myself, because people start and they just don't realize what kind of a commitment it is before you can be successful.
From the outside, it looks successful, what you've done and what you've achieved. Are you yourself satisfied? Because women often tend to be quite self-critical. And do you wake up in the morning and go, wow, this is cool. Look what I've done.
I do. I am really, really proud. I've got the people that get along so well. They help each other personally. They've lent them cars, lent them money. It's just it's a real family. And
Mhm.
that's, I think, what makes me proud of. They do a great job, but to work, when you can walk into an office and feel warm and feeling comfortable, that's what I'm most proud about.
Interesting. The community you've built.
Yeah,
That's such a lovely way to put it. I can sense that. I can sense from everything from what you're saying, yeah, that the relationships are what you value.
yeah, that is definitely what I value most is you know, I I just to see everybody so happy together, not every day, wars and things, but generally speaking, they're there for each other. And what can be better than that?
What could be better than that? Indeed. Lesley Paull, thank you so much for your time. This has been lovely, and I couldn't agree with you more. What could be better than that? Even just chatting with you right now feels like a connection, a relationship. And that's really, I think, what makes travel so special is these various special people that we know all across the globe and have gotten to know through travel.
Yeah, I totally agree.